look, when David Grusch was gone, he was gone. But when he's back, he's back. And he's been out there talking, man. He was out there on Tuesday last week discussing not only craft retrieval programs and alien life and other those things. A lot of people have been discussing it and talking about it and wondering why he still hasn't been. The claims, at least what I've seen, haven't been denied by anybody in the official capacity in the government. Haven't seen that yet. So he's out there on major news networks talking about other things and talking about craft and things that he had seen. Been a little bit more upfront and not as much of the in the skiff as in the past. So look at this clip. This one I think was from Fox.
Like I said in my presser on Tuesday, I did get access to crash retrieval photos and everything. So I've seen the recovered vehicles and everything. So I would say that's probably the most stupendous thing, earth-shattering thing that, changed my worldview when I got access to some of that years ago. And I do hope the administration, and I think they will, release that information in a further drop.
David, I gotta just jump in real quick there and give you a chance to talk about these crash site vehicles, because you got the hair on my wrist standing up. Just real quickly, I don't want to filibuster Joey here, but I'm very into this.
You got it.
Tell me about these crash sites that you've seen personally.
Yeah, a lot of them looked like what we saw. Some of the reporting dropped on Friday. There was a 1948 memo from the Chief of Naval Operations that discussed the flying disc pandemic that they were having, and they were enlisting help of the Air Force Intelligence Service. A lot of it was lenticular discs. Some was crescent moon shaped. I call it the flattened sunfish. There's a bunch of different morphologies that the U.S. government has recovered, from eggs to discs. To crescent moon, boomerang type vehicles, and I got a small smattering sample of that of ones that have landed or crashed on the surface of the Earth.
So there's quite a lot of detail in that short clip. Obviously, the fact that he saw the pictures, the things that he saw inside of the pictures. I'm curious too. I'd love to ask those questions to him, or have somebody ask those questions to him, as far as like, so how does it work in the legality side of it, to where, because I'm sure that's partially what it was, because he couldn't go into that much detail like he just did in 2023, at least in front of Congress, to that detail about what he saw, what the ships were, those types of things, what crashed, the species, like all that. Like, what's changed between then and now? Is it different clearances? Is it different things that he had to abide by? I don't know. I just don't know the answer to it. Or maybe people just didn't ask the questions that he could have spoke up about. Again, I just don't know. But inside of this clip itself, he talked about seeing the craft, and he talked about kind of the confirmations that we've seen beforehand with the disc. He kind of confirmed that with the Jeremy Barber thing when it came to the egg shape. Well, I guess that egg shape one was handed to Ross. Whatever. It was the same day that Jeremy Barber was talking to Ross that they showed that egg UFO. But either way, the retrieval program, and good on the reporter who gave a follow-up question too. I never understand that sometimes when someone says something and they go, "Oh, okay, you saw a ship. What'd you see? What was it? What was it inside the pictures that you saw?" And the other thing that I thought was really intriguing is that he said, "I hope that, and I believe that they will," in referring to the government, release this information. Now, if the government released this type of information, that's a lot different than the stuff that they have been. The stuff that they have been releasing in the first 3 dumps of those files have been compelling footage that if you would have showed it in 2017, like when the New York Times article came out, people were like, what in the world and what the hell is that? But now, almost 10 years later, we know you have compelling footage. A lot of the people who have spoken out, we believe a lot of them. And they're saying that there's a crash retrieval program. So if that was the next thing, that what he's talking about, and they say, we have recovered these things. It kind of goes back to the video that I just did with David Fravor. We get it. There's national security about telling us how much and what exactly you've been doing with the technology that you've recovered. But to tell us and to say, hey, this has been a thing for 70, 80 years, whatever it was, The cover-up has been what we think and we're aware of. These things have been around for X amount of years, we believe. They've been around longer than us, whatever it might be. We are not alone. Here is the particular, this is a program that we have been working on. This is technology we think. They communicated with us. We found it on our own, whatever it might be. That is, it's not a matter of national security. What it is deciding to guard the way we look at society and the way we've looked at it for as long as we can remember. If that particular speech came out of what I just fathomed, that would change that society. At least you think it would. Now you just never know anymore. People are just like, oh, cool, there's aliens. Let's go watch the World Cup. So I do believe that one of the main things is that you would just feel that. I guess the question is how much information you really would give up. But the idea that Grusch has seen this stuff and he's talked about it in this particularly in detail with the disc and about the starfish and other things and other designs that have been out there in various amounts of craft. So if you have him out there talking about this is someone who was working for the government recently. Again, recently. We know that he had his clearance and his high position beforehand, but he was working for Burleson a year ago. So here's somebody that was working within the government saying these things. Someone either needs to say, there's a lot of legitimacy with what this guy is saying. I mean, besides the Burlesons and everyone else in the world, we know that they think he's legit. Someone should ask at the next press conference, anybody, any reporter that is out there that covers press conferences that goes into this, ask these questions. Hey, there's a guy saying aliens are real and he's saying he saw craft, and says that there's an actual program. This is the same guy that testified in 2023. He spoke up on Capitol Hill with a lot of people from Congress. Can you confirm or deny? There's been none of that. No one's asked that. Where's that question been? Or if there has it been a phone call? I will call you back. Where is that? Where is that? Next time you get the press secretary, ask. So, hey, what's the deal? So I don't think David Grusch is done. Remember, we were supposed to get that op-ed a long time ago from him, and those plans seem to have changed, and now he's just out there talking. And I'm glad that he is. Because when he's talking, people are listening, and it also starts to get the conversation going a lot more. So the fact that this is definitively saying, I've seen them with my own eyes in these pictures, I don't remember him saying that in the hearing. I don't remember him saying that. So I think this is pretty monumental. And even as the reporter said, that the hair was standing up and more people are like, it's not one of these things like back in the day when you'd have these people, this guy said he saw an alien, saw a UFO. I don't know, put him on Maury Povich or something. That doesn't happen anymore. Now it's like, okay, this is David Grusch, who's government. Let's have an interview. He's been vetted. Let's go. Let's have the conversation. I say the same thing I've been saying since I've been doing this for 3 years now. Let's get more people to cover this. More and more and more. But you guys got to share their videos. You got to talk about it. You got to continue that on and talk about it within your circles. Because what I have found within my circles of people who didn't, whether they believed in it beforehand or they didn't believe in it beforehand, rather, and they didn't know what it was and just kind of scoffed at it. And the more and more people are talking about it, I'm seeing, like, I had a conversation. We were watching the Knicks game, and it was game 2. We were watching the game, and Alien Life started coming up. And the people who used to scoff at it are saying, oh, this is pretty compelling. Conversation's changing. And I think something like this, if David Grusch is right, to where he hopes that the government's going to release it, but if they do, now, yes, it would be great to have particular footage or those pictures that David Grusch is talking about. And maybe that could lie into the national security aspect of this, of showing the actual pictures of what they have. But even to say, we have recovered non-human craft. I mean, that's it. It's a game changer. No more nonsense after that. I still do wonder, though, if people who are the naysayers, if the government came out and said that, and it's not just a few select few, but the government themselves came out and said it, would they still say, yeah, sure? Probably, right? I would assume so. Anyway, that's all I got for you today. I'm very curious to hear what you guys think. Make sure you click like, comment, subscribe, put your thoughts in there. Tell me. I'm going to try to put as many videos out this week. There's a lot of news coming out on this topic, so I'll do what I can do. Thank you. I appreciate you. We'll see you soon. Bye. We spend a lot of time looking at things that we just can't explain, but some of the most unexplained phenomenon happen a lot closer to home, and that's inside your head. A thought can appear out of nowhere. It's something dark, disturbing, completely out of character. You didn't ask for it. You don't want it. And no matter what you try to do to get rid of it, it just keeps coming back. For millions of people, that experience is not just anxiety or a bad day. It can actually be OCD. It's not the organizing stereotype. Real OCD, it's persistent. It's unwanted, intrusive thoughts that feel totally out of character, along with mental or physical behaviors you feel driven to get relief. These thoughts can feel very real, which is what makes them so upsetting. But it doesn't have to be that way, because OCD, it's highly treatable with the right kind of specialized therapy. OCD needs ERP or exposure and responsive prevention, which is proven to be the most effective treatment. And that's where NoCD comes in. NoCD is the world's leading provider of OCD treatment, and it's covered by insurance for over 138 million Americans. All their licensed therapists specialize in ERP therapy and will help you learn to take the power away from intrusive thoughts in live, face-to-face virtual sessions. They also provide support between sessions when you need it the most, so you're never facing OCD alone. If any of this sounds familiar, visit NOCD.com to book a free 15-minute call. That is NOCD.com. NoCD. Make sure you go and check it out.